No te amo como si fueras rosa del sal, tu pasión flecha de claveles que propagan el fuego. Te amo como si aman ciertas cosas oscuras, secretamente, entre la sombra y ama. I do not love you as if you were a rose made of salt or topaz, or an arrow carnation spreading fire. I love you the way certain dark things are to be loved, in secret, between the shadow and the soul. Sonnet number 17, Pablo Neruda from Chile. Les arts splendeurs universelles offrant de peuple entière comme l'astre offrant de Dieu. Art, the universal splendor. On people's faces it sparkles like the star on the face of God. Victor Hugo, forefront of the French Romantic movement. La anta tarif Allah, satayt al-algaz, wala narzata fi nafsak, satajat Allah yulatif atfallak. And if you will know God, be not therefore a solver of riddles. Rather look about you and you shall see him playing with your children. Khalil Gibran, author of The Prophet from Lebanon. Ima wa kokoni. Come at last to this point, I look back on my passion and realize that I have been like a blind man who is unafraid of the dark. Yosano Akiko, one of Japan's greatest feminist writers. Yamai Nagahim Salim, Yamayadin Bajita Sakim, Yamayadik Chicken Sarim, Laso he was Sikarakim Menelenorealokum, dreaming a dream unrealizable, tending to a disease incurable, weeding a plant uncultivable, helping other lives be livable. To live my own, I was incapable. Tsagay Gabramedin, my countryman, one of Ethiopia's greatest gifts to the literary world. See, a poem is more than just the words or the stage from which it is performed. It is the literary connections that rain down on likewise minds who understand that a word may be just a word, but in the hands and mouth of a poet, it is the ultimate weapon that can resurrect man's ambitious attempt at even coming close to a fraction of replicating the miracles of the world he lives in. The promises of his blood, sweat, tears, love, and the never-ending quest to understand the flawed chemistry that is the human condition. It is much more than scores of 10 at a slam, or your only idea of poetry is tuning into HBO Death Poetry Jam. Your favorite poet reads world classic and ancient literature because it is enlightening to know it. In fact, I bet you do not know the name of your favorite poet's favorite poet. In fact, I bet you your favorite poet's favorite poet may not be black, but European or Asian or Latino in my case, because that is the beauty of language. It does not discriminate, it only infiltrates. Just because somebody writes in another language does not mean the human emotion is not there, which is why I read till my eyes bleed of brain damage. That way, if you were to stitch my tongue in your mouth, you still won't be able to speak my language. And even if you do have a tongue, your words will still end up tasteless. Language is to tongue what divinity is to love. And she makes plates of divinity every couple days a weekend, hands it to me on a plate carved from the bones of her chopped wings. This melting pot of sunsets my mother stews like simple serenity. The smell of her dreams floating through the firescapes, her chicken broth flowing through the plate like her bloodlines. This is my blood which has been shed for you, my son, so you may drink it. And be blessed to dream storms that carried our rainbows, like a century kissing the millennium for the fountain of youth, to have a chance to be reborn and outlive in eons, in the taste of Sistine Chapel, Brooklyn bodegas, in the orchestras of Los Angeles, singing Jamaican patty octaves that tickle the vocal cords of our sunshine, Brazilian ham hock feijoadas as divine as the girl from Ipanema. This is the flesh of Africa that has been handed to me, to ingest in the soul of songs that whistle through steaming pots of pans. A can of Campbell's cannot contain us. We are not store-bought. We are more than Indian curry, rice, pilaf, seasoning packets in aisle 5. You cannot contain our bloodlines in grocery bags or IVs. We do not hand out receipts, nor do we take back cultures. Our essence thrives in ethnic temples, in the feminine of hands hard at work, crushing seeds inside tree trunks bored from the hollows of time. Creole seasonings be the weather in our villages. Shish kebabs be the spears in our battles. We survive in the sewer smoke back streets of Eagle Rock, California, tagging along as we Tagalog lumpia adobo from the balut of our enemies. Fairfax and Pico is where my Ethiopians is at. Injera, Dorowat, Kutfo, Quanta, for the citizens, the tips, all served in a large circular hand-woven platter called a meso, to represent the continuity of life as we feed each other with hands dipped in the sauces of our yesterdays. The ones who write history are the ones who hang the hero. So I have my own way of tasting divinity. It comes in the smell of sun-kissed plantains, so sweet we jerk like Jamaican chicken bone breakers. Or let me have another bowl of that Cajun gumbo. Spicy kisses, ethnic recognition, that sweet yuca sancocho gently stirred in the history of abuela's womb. Era la sed y el hambre y tu fuiste la fruta. Okra in a goosey soup that drips down our elbows like holy water, and the fufu be our communion. Menudo be my hangover remedy. Falafel and couscous are my Qurans. This is where I find peace. In the sun fires of boiling concoctions, see, our bloodlines have been enriched since time immemorial. This is how our mothers, with their faces glowing like pomegranates, loved us back.